Good afternoon and welcome to the Appropriations Committee. I'm Delegate Maggie McIntosh, Chair, and we have today two bill hearings, House Bill 1469 and House Bill 1388. Is Delegate Barnes here? No. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
That's okay.
I forgot my camera was off.
All right. You want to begin this afternoon with House Bill 1469.
Yes, Madam Chair. This bill establishes a school arts fund as a special fund administered by Arts Every Day to provide grants to specified schools in Baltimore City to purchase art supplies for classrooms, as well as provide art experiences to students. And it generally applies to our concentration of poverty schools.
Okay. Any questions of the sponsor? Okay. We're now going to move to, I think we have with us today, Arts Every Day. Julia, are you here in the room?
Yes, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Delegate Barnes and Chair McIntosh and members of the committee. My name is Julia DeBuslo, and I'm the Director of Arts Every Day, a nonprofit dedicated to improving equitable access to the arts in Baltimore City Public Schools. I am also the proud parent of a fourth grade city school student. So just want to share a little bit about why HB 1469 is needed. The Code of Maryland Regulations, COMAR, clearly defines fine arts as a core subject and is required in school districts across the state. And that requires districts to offer all 5 disciplines, including dance, media art, music, theater, and visual art. In 2018, the city school system passed the Fine Arts Strategic Plan. And since then, the number of arts teachers in the city has increased from 174 to 273. This is an increase of about 40%. Currently, 90% of city students now have access to visual art and 65% have access to general music. Yet even with these improvements, fewer than 10% of city school students have access to instrumental music, theater, or dance. Lack of adequate funding hinders the purchase of musical instruments, art equipment, supplies, and arts experiences. And this has prevented necessary improvements in visual art and performing arts classrooms. And this is a significant barrier to equity that remains across the district. Arts Every Day was founded in 2005 through the joint efforts of the Ford Foundation, Baltimore City Public School System, the Mayor's Office, and the visual and performing arts organizations in Baltimore to advance arts equity in Baltimore City schools. We are the lead community organization leading advocacy efforts that support implementation of the Fine Arts Plan in Baltimore City. And we already raise and administer funds that support arts experiences, supplies, equipment, and such for city schools. We currently handle about $150,000 in funding to support those things. So as the plan administrator, we would implement stringent guidelines to make sure that funds are being used for their intended purposes and provide annual reporting on the fund to the legislature. Thank you so much for your consideration and for having me today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have any other witnesses, Madam Chair?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, thank you.
Allison Perkins Cohen, is she here? You got
Yes,
2
I
minutes.
am.
2 minutes, okay?
Yes. All right. Good afternoon, Chair McIntosh and Delegate Barnes and members of the committee. It's good to see everybody. My name is Allison Perkins Cohen. I'm the Chief of Staff for the Baltimore City Public School System. On behalf of Dr. Santelises and our Board of School Commissioners, I want to thank you for this opportunity to testify today and share our enthusiastic support for House Bill 1469. As Julia DeBuslo shared so well during her testimony, this legislation would have a very meaningful impact on the students we serve in Baltimore City. As a district, we are committed to supporting arts education and reducing barriers to participation so that students can be engaged and empowered through excellent art opportunities that are often the motivation for so many of our students to be engaged and enthusiastic about school. Specifically, it's been our goal to increase student access to the highest quality of music, visual arts, theater, dance, and media arts instruction through the fine arts plan that Julia mentioned. It's been long overdue to try to get our students access to that programming that they deserve. While this commitment has been a long priority, none of us could have foreseen a global pandemic that would cause us to rethink and refine how we educate our students. Research has long shown that participation in the arts can support the social and emotional learning needs of students, especially in addressing healing and trauma coming out of this pandemic. As we continue to face the long-term effects of the COVID pandemic, we recognize that arts can play a critical role in providing an outlet for students to process their emotions so they can begin the healing process and build resiliency as they adjust to the post-pandemic transitions. Finally, I also want to call out that take the opportunity to publicly acknowledge one of the most important art teachers to have ever served in the Baltimore City public school system, Maggie McIntosh. Chair McIntosh, as you all know, was an art teacher in Baltimore City, and just want to take a moment to acknowledge her decades of commitment to our young people, especially those living in poverty and facing the greatest needs. It's something that has personally driven me in this role where I sit, and I know has inspired countless others to keep doing the hard work and making sure that every bill we pass, every policy we implement is done with the eye towards equity that Delegate McIntosh has so fiercely led for us. We're grateful for her leadership and wish you all, Delegate McIntosh, wish you the best in your next chapter. With that said, we thank the committee for its considerations today of this proposal and want you to know how much we look forward to partnering with Arts Every Day to administer these funds in a way that will maximize their potential throughout the district. For all these reasons, we respectfully urge a favorable committee report of HB 1469.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words. Do we have a Derek Hewlett?
Hello, Chair McIntosh. Yes, this is Derek Hewlett. I was going to say, good afternoon. My name is Derek Hewlett, and I'm proud to be a Baltimore City Public Schools graduate and a current music director at City Springs Elementary Middle School. I am delighted to express my support of HB 1469 School Arts Fund. Music saved my life. There was no music program at my West Baltimore Elementary School. It wasn't until my 5th grade teacher recommended me for the advanced academic program at Roland Park that I took my first music class and chose to play the saxophone in the school band. I sang in the school choir and served as a student conductor. From there, I went on to the Cab Calloway Music Careers Program at Frederick Douglass High School. Sometimes the only reason why I wanted to go to school was to go play in the band or sing in the choir. My school experiences opened up opportunities for scholarships, jobs, and prepared me to become a performer, music educator, and a church music director. Today, I feel blessed to be able to give back by pouring my passion back into city schools as an educator. That doesn't mean it's easy. And I know Delegate McIntosh, I know you know about that. I have taught for years and consistently struggle to secure instruments and materials I need for my classroom. I teach in a Title I school and typically only receive enough supply money to replenish consumables, definitely not enough to purchase instruments. But this year, Arts Every Day made it possible for us to buy a bass xylophone and a ukulele classroom set. These early instrumental experiences are critical for teaching the fundamentals of music and to give students their first experiences playing an instrument. In a district where there is limited access to music teachers and even fewer opportunities to introduce instrumental music, this fund has opened the doors for our students. HB 1469 will have a dramatic impact on, I was going to say the lovely faces that you see today, because I had my pre-K students ready to sing a little song for you earlier, but and students, and it will impact the students district-wide. So I enthusiastically support this bill and ask the committee to give HB 1469 a favorable report. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Michelle on?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I think that's the last witness. Does that conclude the hearing on that? If so, I'd like to interject a personal moment, if that's okay.
I do think there's somebody else that did not get signed up.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you a minute, okay? 1 minute, but you aren't signed up on this bill, but I see you, Mary Ann Mears, and I know you're not signed up about the wine bill. Okay,
No, I'm not.
okay,
But I want to first of all say thank you, Delegate McIntosh. I did try to sign up, but evidently I didn't do it right. And Delegate Barnes for supporting this very, very important landmark legislation. I also want to give a shout out to Delegate Guyton because she is sponsoring a companion bill that really is a companion bill in the Ways and Means Committee, which would enable underfunded schools across the state beyond Baltimore City. And as a 30-year advocate for arts education in our schools in Maryland, it started when my kids didn't have an art teacher in Baltimore City Public Schools 30 years ago. And this is long, long overdue. And I just want to say, kids, anybody with little kids, they come into this world as artists. They sing, they dance, they play, they act out roles, they make up stories. Their imaginations are so magical. So I'm so happy about this, and thank you.
thank you. Okay, Delegate Barnes, back to you.
Madam Chair, if I could be so bold, I thought maybe given we know how important this is to you as a former arts teacher, I thought it'd be appropriate to move favorable. We do have, I think there's a technical amendment, but I thought we could move favorable.
Sure.
And Madam Chair, if I may, I would like to artfully supply the second to that motion.
Okay,
And I'll third it.
all right, go ahead.
I'll move the technical amendment first, Madam Chair.
And what is that technical amendment?
Michelle?
We
I think it was-
spelled arts every day wrong.
We spelled arts every day incorrect. You made us say it,
Can't
man.
repeal this one.
It's arts,
love
it's
it.
not English, so you guys are good, huh?
Yeah,
Did we
yeah,
make
yeah.
this the language
Alright.
arts bill?
All right, on the technical amendment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right. Are we voting on this today?
Yes.
Oh,
Move the
good.
bill.
On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Good.
I'm voting.
Thank you, everybody. All right, we're going to move to Delegate Michelle Guyton's bill. Now that we have had art, we're going to move to wine. Two of my favorite things.
Perfect combination. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Madam Chair, members of the Appropriations Committee. I hope we'll just move this one out today too. So I am Delegate Michelle Guyton, District 42B, Baltimore County. And thank you so much for moving that arts bill. It's important to me as well. But here I'm here today to respectfully request a favorable report on House Bill 1388. It's the Winery and Vineyard Economic Development Grant Program. And this program is proposed as a replacement for the Winery Income Tax Credit Program, which expired last year. And this bill would provide grants to wineries and vineyards for capital expenses and improvements to their existing operations, but also for the establishment of a new winery. This legislation not only invests in our Maryland wineries and our vineyards, this has the effect of creating new jobs and supporting businesses within our state, but it also promotes the preservation of open space and agriculture, and especially agritourism, which is very important in my district and many of yours. The fund has an annual $1 million limit, and wineries can receive up to 25% of the total cost of their capital project through a grant from this program. So I respectfully request a favorable report on House Bill 1388. And I believe I have 3 folks signed up to testify.
Okay, any questions of the sponsor? All right, seeing none, we have Rob DeFord from Bordy Vineyards.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am here to testify, not surprisingly, in favor of HB 1388. And I want to thank my delegate, Michelle Guyton, for her advocacy on this bill. It's extremely important. Just by way of background, there are currently about 11,000 wineries in the US, but the industry is extremely concentrated at the top with 50 wineries comprising more than 90% of the total volume of wine produced in the United States. Wineries like those enjoyed huge economies of scale that lower their costs and make competition extremely difficult for small family-owned wineries like ours. And I want to emphasize that we're not just competing with them, we're competing with the entire world here in Maryland. But the quality of Maryland wines is indeed world-class. Anyone who knows our industry would have followed the trajectory of the quality, and it's truly impressive today. The purpose of the former tax credit and this grant program, as proposed, is to help alleviate the extremely steep capital costs required for wineries to invest in the best vineyard stock and the most advanced vineyard and winemaking equipment. This credit program, while it was in existence from 2020, from 2013 to 2020, had really a tremendous effect, and it stimulated the growth of the wine industry, as you can track by the number of wineries that appeared over that period of time. 40 Vineyards, my winery, made use of this tax credit. And mind you, we've been in business 77 years, but we experienced above average growth during the period of the tax credit. And I can credit the tax credit for that growth. We invested we completely replanted our vineyards. We invested in farm machinery. We completely retooled our winery with state-of-the-art winemaking equipment. The tax credit weighed heavily in our decision to make those investments. And given all the benefits, which I'd be happy to enumerate of the Maryland wine industry, including, I'll say, what's called the economic multiplier effect, because we're vibrant tourist attractions that I think benefit our communities beyond just the wine industry. I hope you will vote favorably on this bill. It's extremely important to our industry, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right, we have Kimberly Johnson.
Hello, I am Kimberly Denise Johnson. I'm the co-founder of Philosophy Winery. We're the first African-American winery in the state of Maryland, as well as all women-owned winery in the state of Maryland. We're located in Baltimore City, which is where we make our wine. I'm also the president of the Maryland Wineries Association, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm here in support of HB 1388. This legislation will help support wineries, especially those like mine, be able to grow, adapt, adjust, and invest in Maryland. It's very, very expensive to set up a winery and a vineyard, but it's completely well worth the opportunity. Wineries promote tourism to Maryland. They also preserve the land and the open space. These grants will help create Maryland jobs as well. So I just want to thank you for this consideration, and I truly urge this committee to issue a favorable report on HB 1388. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Matthew.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Matthew Boley of Rifkin Weiner Livingston here on behalf of the Maryland Wineries Association in strong support of HB 1388. I'd like to sincerely thank our sponsor, Delegate Guyton, for submitting this legislation. This legislation invests in our Maryland-owned wineries and vineyards to further and grow and expand is worthy of enacting. Maryland wineries are small businesses that help us preserve Maryland agriculture and open space. They enable us to further connect with the land and outdoors, which we have seen to be of even more importance and interest during COVID. This grant program is limited to these Maryland-owned wineries and vineyards and is capped at $1 million a year for total program allocations and 25% of an eligible capital expense for the establishment of a new winery or vineyard, or for capital improvements made to an existing winery or vineyard. These capital investments help to spark economic growth throughout the state and increase tourism in Maryland. These are establishments that your constituents want to see thrive and grow. These are the amenities and attractions that will help attract and retain Maryland's workforce and tourism. If you look at our written statement, we expand on some of the positive economic developments that the expired tax credit program had fostered, including new jobs in Maryland, increased wine production by our wineries, and the continued preservation of open space. Last, I'll note that the Senate version of this legislation is now in the House after passing the Senate 46-0. In order to grow our local economy and small businesses and protect open space and agriculture, I urge a favorable report on HB 1388.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I believe that concludes the bill hearing, and we do have the Senate bill and we got the House bill. What's the fiscal note on this? If staff could tell me.
It should be at $1 million a year.
Yeah, it's
All
$1
right.
million a year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
You're very welcome. And that concludes our bill hearings. See everybody on the floor. Okay.
It looks like Delegate Beitzel has a question.
Oh, Delegate Beitzel, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Maybe the maker of the bill or
Yeah.
somebody else in the industry.
Sure.
Obviously, thank the maker for presenting the bill. I have one question. How does this relate to farms that are in ag preservation? Can farms that are in ag preservation participate in this? And is this considered an agricultural venue that doesn't prohibit a farmer that has his farm in ag preservation from participating in this program?
Madam Chair, may I respond to that? This is Rob DeFord.
Yes.
Thank you. Delegate Beitzel, the farm where Bordy Vineyards is located was put in permanent preservation with Maryland Environmental Trust in 2000. And when we did that, we arranged with MET to encompass the activities that we knew we needed to continue as a winery. And they were very accommodating. And I know that there are lots of different forms of preservation out there, and I believe they all recognize the value of permitting value-added agriculture to continue on preserved land.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And then just if I could follow up,
Sure.
if there is a problem with it, I'm very supportive of this. If there's a problem, maybe it would be some, if there's need to do something, maybe there could be an amendment to correct it. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Delegate Beitzel. All right, that concludes the bill hearings today. See you on